we have LIRS here. LIRS is here again to help us break down tax laws, to help us understand them better. Here with me is Director, New Growth Area, the Oga Patapata for New Growth. Mr. Jimi Aina, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Before I even ask him the first question, again, I'm going to come to you. We've had 2 tax people come here. What have you done since the knowledge you have been shared? Who has done something about that knowledge? Who has gone to identify with the tax office, this is my business? Who has gone to seek understanding? Who has better understanding of what you're supposed to be paying? I need to know that we're not wasting our time here. Online too, if you're online or watching, send us your own updates so that I can also read it out, so that our LIRs know that they're not coming here to waste their time, they're actually educating Nigerians. I'll ask you again after this. So, sir, there is a new rule out there, high-net-worth taxpayers. How much does the taxpayer need to have exactly to be considered wealthy and put in that category?
Okay, that's a very good question. But before we start with that, I want to thank you for having me on your show. And I want to make 2 complaints. Number 1, when they were calling the tax man, nobody hailed me. So my feelings are hurt. So can we call Jimi Aina of LIRS?
Jimi Aina!
Thank you. So your favorite agency in Lagos State, the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, is who I'm here to represent. And she asked a very critical question. How do we identify our high-net-worth individuals? So there's no particular income threshold. You don't have to earn a certain figure to be highlighted as a high-net-worth individual or categorized. It's I'll call it your asset profile, your income profile, your spending patterns. So there are multiple things that we look at. Your real estate holdings, your investments, your directorship of multiple entities, your dividends that you earn. Those are the things that make us look at you and identify you as a high-net-worth individual. So it's not as if we're not saying if you earn 100 million or you earn 1 billion. There's no financial threshold. It's just your income profile. And as things stand, these things are a lot more visible to the tax authority than ever, with the expectations and obligations that we have from you with the new tax laws.
So how does LIRS therefore plan to address the complex ownership structures and tax planning of these high-net-worth individuals? Because they are all different.
You see, that's a very critical question. Now, in the old days, you could carry out what we call tax planning. So you just do some creative filings that give you an advantage over other people, using what I call them the best of the professionals. Now the tax laws require that you have 30 days to disclose what tax planning measures you have taken and report them to the agency. If you don't do them, whoever is responsible for carrying out those activities on your behalf can be held responsible.
Wow.
And now we're also looking at full structural transparency. So people typically go and hide their income in trusts, in limited liability companies, in SPVs. Now there's a mandatory disclosure requirement, which we expect from you. And then, of course, there's a couple of other things that come on board when you file. We look at your filings and compare them with the data available to the tax authority. So there's a lot of insight now.
Right. And
you know what the expectation is. I'm sure my colleague who came in earlier would have advised by the 31st of March, you expect us to have filed your income from all sources. All.
And that includes everything you're doing here, like market women, salesperson, you are selling. Who has filed their taxes? March 31st? Nobody. You filed you don't live in Nigeria now. But do you have business in Nigeria? Not quite. Okay, but who is in Nigeria that has a Nigerian business that has filed their taxes?
You see, they're passing the mic.
So nobody has filed their taxes. Okay. All right. So don't worry. Morayo will be policing you very soon. Now, let me come to the issue of digitization, because people now receive money. How many people receive money from abroad? Where's Choma? She's not here today. So people receive money from abroad from multiple sources. How would the new tax act ensure that they also get, because she's receiving money from the abroad? Would she be taxed?
Yes, absolutely. Now, this is what the reality I was trying to bring up was. There is now a lot more clarity than there's ever been in terms of income that you receive from all sources. At a point, there was, things like this weren't very visible. Now the banks are required to report. You yourself are required to report income from all sources. So if you're a remote worker, if you're a content creator, if your YouTube or your Instagram is paying you, you're supposed to declare that income because that income is now visible to the tax authority. If you are a crypto trader, you're also expected to declare that income. Your foreign dividends, your overseas rental income, whatever it is. Basically, what we're just trying to say is, once you are resident in Nigeria, in Lagos, your residency determines the tax obligation. So it's no longer the fact that, oh, well, it's only the money I earn in Nigeria that I'm paying taxes on. It's not what you earn worldwide, and this mainly relates to our HNIs.
So let me ask you a very basic question. What is the benefit? So maybe that's the question that's on the mind of everybody. If I come and pay, this is my people. If I come and pay and tell you, okay, well, I sell clothes, I sell pure water, I sell Zobo, and now you tax me, what is the benefit? That's what I say. What's the Abi?
Very good question. Excellent question. Sir, you asked about Rose, right?
Yes.
A gentleman there, yes. And she replied, it's your taxes that make that work. You're speaking about healthcare. There are some people who, I know there's so many mother and child clinics all over Lagos where delivery is free. It's because of your taxes. Your taxes make that possible. Yeah. It's not for that.
It's not free. Okay. He's not a health
So
worker.
that's what I was going to say. I know that there are multiple services available to Nigerians based on the taxes that we pay. The roads that we work on, the police, we need better policing, we say.
Yes.
We need to pay our taxes so that we can strengthen our police force. We need to fix our roads, we need to fix our hospitals. I always tell my team members, anytime we don't meet our target, it means that one road is not going to be completed because every single figure is budgeted for.
Yeah.
One road is not completed, one hospital doesn't have its medical bills, it's medication. Something is wrong if we don't pay our taxes. So we all have an obligation. And something else I always add is pay so that you have the moral obligation to ask questions.
Yeah.
You see your local government chairman, you ask him, I pay my taxes, why has this road not been fixed? You have the right and obligation because it gives you the right.
Guys, you see, one of the things we want to do with this show is educate you. You see, we have a mentality. Everybody, Nigeria has happened to all of us in different ways. But we also want to fix Nigeria. My own children, by God's grace, I want them to school in Nigeria. I don't have money to go abroad. So I want my child to grow up, to see road, to use a medical center, to go to school. How do I do that? I have to start paying my taxes.
Absolutely.
Unless you have no plan for your children to be in Nigeria, then you can say I'm not paying taxes. But if you plan to be in the same country, then let's not be selfish and keep all the money to ourselves. We have to give. That's really the idea because we are not used to it. We are not. But we must begin to train ourselves. We don't trust governments, but they're asking for our trust.
Absolutely.
To trust us.
Trust us, pay your taxes as I when due, and then ask questions.
But who we ask? It's by asking. Now, who I go ask? Chairman, please pass it back to Chairman. Chairman has something to say.
Okay, good morning.
Yes.
My name is Oluwafemi Emmanuel. I want to ask this question. I'm a salary earner. And ever since I started working, I've not even taxed. I would just say that I tax maybe some amount. I don't, but there was a day that I went to my accountant like, okay, let me even get my report. And what she now told me is that it will take like maybe 3 or whatsoever months that Lagos State, that the plastic card, like the tax and stuff.
Tax card?
Yes. That it will take. So I'm not like, what is going on? How are we going to resolve this? Then number 2, sir, this question is like, you're asking us that, okay, Mama Alata that is selling pepper to now carry herself to your office that, I'm selling pepper, come and remove 5 naira.
No.
It is impossible.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I am very happy with your questions. And I'll start with the second question first. You'll be very surprised that some of our best paying taxpayers, some of our most compliant taxpayers are in the informal sector. The market women that you speak about, we have teams who go into the markets, collaborate with their year lodgers and our lodgers, and they remit their taxes, and they are happy to. They are very happy to. So we need to applaud them for that. And now the second part, I can expressly tell you that your accountant is wrong. You don't need to come to LIRS to file your taxes. www.etax.lirs.gov. etax.net, right? I'm sorry, I mixed that up in a second. But eTax is our platform that's been set up for filing. If your accountant does the right thing, they will file your taxes, submit the schedule. It will reflect immediately. Immediately. You don't even need to come to LIRS. You file, you are assessed, you can pay, you can get your receipt, you can get your tax clearance, all from the comfort of your home, if you do it right. Of course, there might be issues, and we have a 24-hour chat box. Chat with us. Call us on 0700, call LIRS. We respond immediately. Okay. So that confusion is something that you need to clear up with your accountant. It does not take 3 months. It is immediate, unless, of course, they are not remitting on your behalf, or they are not remitting what they are supposed to remit. Then, you understand the thought process.
Okay, let me take a few questions online. I think somebody was saying that we all have obligation to pay tax, but you can't ask government officially why the roads are not fixed. Okay, there's a question I was looking. What happened to our indirect tax? What's indirect tax?
So indirect taxes are consumption taxes, value-added taxes, taxes that are not paid directly. We don't need to. You don't know the names of who's paying those taxes. So you go to a restaurant, you eat, you buy a chicken pie, buy a meat pie, you look at the receipt, you see VAT, you see consumption taxes. Those are indirect taxes. So we are paying some of those taxes one way or the other. Now, the next question is, the restaurant that is charging you these indirect taxes, are they remitting those taxes? There comes the second headache.
So now, the final question I wanted to ask, before I go to because I wanted to ask about gifts.
Yes.
Well, when somebody gives me a car gift, how does the law determine whether I pay tax on that gift, or especially as a company?
So if it is a genuine gift, when we say a genuine gift, we mean a gift that is given without any expectation of any, would I say, return, or there is no value to be added. You're not giving you the car in exchange for, let's say, visibility or an advertisement. No, it is not taxable.
Okay.
So if it is a genuine gift, but if it's planned, so I'm giving you this car, the plan is that you show me on the Morayo show as a gift to, well, you're going to be putting my profile on the Morayo show. That no longer serves as a gift. There's value in there, and that's taxable.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. So is there a way, I'll come to you. Who has a hand? Chairman has a hand. I'm coming to wisdom. Is there a way new tax acts can make these people voluntarily allow themselves to be taxed? How would you ensure this process is fair and trustworthy?
So again, like I got into earlier, because the process ultimately requires you to have very limited interaction with tax authority, you can go online by yourself, file by yourself, get assessed, make your payments, and get your tax clearance. As long as your filings are in line with the data that is available to the tax authority. So, for example, you cannot file an income of 100,000 naira, and your Instagram shows that you drive a Land Cruiser. It does not add up. So we will give you additional assessments. So the expectation from our HNIs and from all our taxpayers is that you file considerably, and you keep books of accounts. So even when we see that your filing is not commensurate with the data we have, you provided books of accounts, you uploaded them on the profile, on the platform, and we make informed decisions. It's not a situation where everybody has to come in and then we want to. Nah. Okay. Go to the process, file, submit your documentation, and you have clarity. Let
me just take one more question because we have a lot of guests today. Chairman, we have the mic. Go ahead.
Good morning, Joy Tribe. Good morning, sir. So basically, I want to ask you now, concerning this tax, first of all, I have my TIN number. Let me start from there so it's cool your mind. Then now, you said something that we have every right to ask the government. Yes. The question is, are we supposed to ask?
How are you supposed to ask?
Because they are I believe outside country also, they know what they are actually paying for. They remove a certain amount of money and they are seeing it. But I can also put it to you that even though they collect the amount of tax they want to collect, that road they are talking about will still be bad.
Chama, have you paid tax?
Yes. I have my TIN number already. So, and aside from that, the money allocated to government in each state, is it for fancy? Because now you are saying that the tax money is for, they are actually using it for road, health sector, and the rest. So,
Well, he's an LIRS man. It's not a government official.
So let me speak to the first thing.
Yes.
You said you have a tax identification number. That's not how I know if you are paying taxes. It's if you have a tax clearance certificate. That's what I want to
Tax
see.
clearance.
So that's the first thing. So that's the expectation that we have from everyone in the room. Then second, like I said, my job is to collect taxes, right? The executive's job is to spend an account. You have your local government chairman. Any interaction, any chance you get to interact with your local government chairman, ask those questions. And one thing I love right now is the ease with which you can engage public servants. If they don't, your social media,
Yes.
nobody ignores social media. I
anymore.
can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
You have the voice or you have the ear of the most. You've seen how many policies have been reversed based on social media uproar,
True.
based on the facts that
People
you
spoke
presented
up.
a
Yeah.
superior position. That's what it is. So I don't mean go to his house and go and knock the door.
Yeah.
There are different ways to engage. And you can already see the impacts of this.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap this up. But there was an important question for informal sector. So when we're told here a few weeks ago that many of us who are probably earning a certain amount, we will not be taxed. But why is it so important that I must identify, that I must tell you I exist and I'm doing business, even though I'm earning less than 800,000. But why is it important that you must know who I am and where I am selling?
So it's a very good question. At the end of the day, you're in the informal sector today. Does not mean that you'll not be a billionaire tomorrow. It's not at that point that we need to know who you are. And also, the reality is, it's a form of, I don't want to call it a census, but it allows us to know who we are planning for as a state. It allows us to know who we are planning for as a state.
Okay.
If everybody is invisible, how do we know? It's not my place to discuss the number of people that come into Lagos every day. I'm sure somebody is going to come. When she brings one of our, maybe a commissioner for planning here, he can give insight into how many people come into Lagos every single day. And the stress that it puts on our infrastructure. Ultimately, it's almost like as you're spending money, you can't see it, you pump it again. It's just over and over and over again because we are so stressed. We have the smallest landmass in the country, but we have one of the highest populations. Some say the highest.
Yeah.
Some say the highest. So that's
Thank you so much. We have to wrap this up. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hope we learned a few things. I really hope because they're here with us for about 6 months. I hope in 6 months you would have changed because I'm going to keep asking you, week on, have you gone to identify yourself? Because me, I pay my taxes. So I expect that you, as long as you're a Joy Tribe member, you should be paying your taxes. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you very much. Next time I come, I'll dance.
You dance, right? Let's take a picture.